Let's find the inverse of two different functions. So we're going to find the inverse of an exponential function and then the inverse of a log function. So I'm actually going to start on the right and find the inverse of the log function first. So if I find the inverse means I'm going to switch my x and y. That's my first step. And now I'm going to get y all by itself. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides, which cancels the 6 on the right hand side. Alright, now I need to, since I'm going to get y all by itself, I need to actually get rid of the log, and I can get rid of the log by writing this as an exponential equation. Now some of you might know that as boot the base, and that means that 2 to the x plus 6 equals y minus 4. And my last step is to get y all by itself, so I'm going to add 4. And notice that I'm starting off with the log equation, and when I take the inverse, I get an exponential equation. So I think we can predict that if we start with an exponential equation, we should get with a log equation. Before I do the next example, I just want to practice one thing with you. If I have a equals log base b argument of c, if I wanted to write that as an exponential equation, it would be b to the power of a equals c. Hopefully that's familiar to you by now. You've been doing a bit of work with logs. And if I have an exponential equation, so 3, let me change it not with a 3, but use variables. If I have d e equals f, then if I was going to write that as a log equation, it would be log, the base is d, the argument is f, and it equals e. So you should be able to go backwards and forwards here with these two. In other words, if you're given a log, you should be able to write it as an exponent, and as an exponent equation, you should be able to write it as a log. And that's the skill we're going to need for this next part. I'm just going to erase this here so I get a little bit more room. And I'm going to find the inverse. So my first step is to get x and y switched. So I've got 3y plus 1 minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides so that I can isolate the y just a little bit. And now notice I've got an exponential equation, and I can write any exponential equation as a log equation. And if I do that, log, my base is 3, my argument is going to be x plus 5, and my exponent, which is on this side, y plus 1. And then the last step is to just get rid of the 1. And there we go.